If they try for Google or if they try for Meta, right, they can get maybe 80 lakhs with the same experience. A lot of people are very overwhelmed by that. Okay, now there are 3,000 questions on lead code. We have 9 to 5 jobs. How would we be able to do that? But you don't have to do that. Move fast, fail, learn from it, adapt, and then make sure that you're not repeating the same mistakes. Make new mistakes. The software engineering is more about collaboration, communication, working as a team. Just like the cricket captain, you are a tech leader, and they follow both the same principles, right? You have to trust your team.
What is your biggest takeaways from working in such diverse and high performance environments?
I think I had very different experiences.
Hi everyone, welcome to TechFluent Season 5. Today we are joined with Mr. Hemant Pandey, Senior Software Engineer, has experience over 7 years with working with most iconic software companies like Meta, Salesforce, Tesla. In his experience, he has helped these companies and design scalable applications and delivered impactful products for millions of users across platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. Hemant is also writer of The Hustling Engineer, a career growth newsletter and a recognized voice in the tech community with over 65,000 followers. His story has been featured on Business Insider and even on Times Square. Beyond engineering, Hemant helps software engineers, mentors them for their 2x in their compensation, and is a vivid cricket fan who draws inspirations from cricket in his daily life. Hi Hemant, welcome to TechFluent.
Thank you so much, sir.
First, we had a good session yesterday. There were a lot of questions that went unanswered. Some of them we pulled in because there was a shortage of time there. And these are the questions that students wanted to understand. And obviously some of the ones which the senior folks would relevant to your experience would be benefited from. So, Hemant, you worked at Meta, Salesforce, Tesla, three of the most inspiring or the most sought after tech companies which, the students at universities dream of. What is your biggest takeaways from working in such diverse and high performance environments?
So I think I had very different experiences across all the three companies you mentioned, right? If I talk about Salesforce, it's an enterprise company. So I learned the skill of, building a high quality system which is reliable. Maybe it doesn't have thousands of features, but it should never break. That was a top priority. If I talk about Tesla, it is more about, operating as a startup, moving fast with a very lean team. So when I joined Tesla, we were just launching Model 3, which is their the latest model car. So it was very high pressure situation, very tight deadlines. So I learned the skill of operating under with a lean team and such high deadlines. And if I talk about Meta, I think this is probably my longest tenure. So it is basically building end-to-end product, right? When you build product, it's not just coding. You get the requirements, you work with PMs, you figure out if the button is to be placed here, what is the use case of this, right? You run experiments, you run A/B tests, you work with legal teams, you work with marketing teams, and then you basically put the feature in the production. So basically end-to-end development and basically building product at scale, right? Anything which I built for Instagram, I pretty much know that it is going to be used by millions of users. So having that mindset and having that approach while building, these are pretty much skills I learned at these three companies.
Great. Because you have been building, large scale systems. So there's one terminology which every student should understand, that is APIs. The next question is designed around that you have designed scalable APIs and like product infrastructure stream. For final year or even let's say a fresher, how should they look at tech skills? That these are the key tech skills which they should prioritize, that they should be having this over any other skill, which would help them, targeting such companies like Meta, maybe Salesforce, maybe Tesla.
Yeah, I think before tech skills, pretty much focusing on the foundations, right? Because the recent tech skills or the recent tech stack may always be popping up and they're going to change every 2-3 years, right? But the foundation, like having a problem solving mindset, is what the world and the companies also are looking for, right? You should have a ability to learn. Like I think learning to learn is pretty much the most important skill in these days, right? So even it is Java, Python, C Sharp, the fundamentals for all of these languages are pretty much same, right? If you have the fundamentals clear, if you have the problem solving mindset, you will be able to ramp up in any of the tech stack pretty quickly. If I talk about my experience, in almost all the companies, I've used different tech stack. And most of the times, like at Meta, for example, I was told that I need to work on PHP and I had never worked on PHP. But when I started using it, it was very similar to Java, which I was used before, right? So if your foundations are clear, if you have solid fundamentals, then it doesn't matter, which tech skills you are using. But yeah, always have that learning mindset. If AI is coming up, you should know what LLMs are, what models are, what is happening in the tech world. So you are just more aware and you are more proactive than the rest of the crowd.
You solved my problem. This is what we tell to the students, and maybe they would listen to you if they don't listen to us. Don't get fascinated by what big tech terminologies come in. Focus on the basic, build the basics right. Terminologies can come and go, and you can learn them. Thank you. You are mentoring engineers who are already in their job, helping them, to extend their careers. And when you talk to a senior folk like that, what kind of discussions you tell them that, okay, beyond technical ability that most of them would have because they already started their career,
Yeah.
what they need to improve for, getting that 2x?
Yeah, I think first of the thing which I've noticed after talking to, multiple mentees of mine is the visibility, right? If you don't market your work, no one will know what you are doing. Even it could be on social media, it could be with your manager, right? So I'd always recommend having a brag document, which I call. So keeping a highlight of, what things you have accomplished. Can be small one that, hey, I spent 2 hours helping this junior engineer accomplish this, right? So this might go unnoticed if you're not keeping track of that, right? And this brag document helps you self reflect every time when you're moving to a next cycle. It helps your manager to write a promotion document for you, so it is doing a lot of things. It is helping your manager, it is helping you self reflect and grow in career. So that's one thing, like make your work visible. Second, I would say, is communication, right? Like ability to express your like complex ideas in a simple manner, right? And it's just not for software engineers. Even if you later go in sales, even if you later go in marketing, this is pretty much the skill which will help you everywhere, right? And I think, especially for 2xing the compensation, what I've noticed is that people don't even know how much money is in the market, right? Like let's say someone I know that working in Deloitte for 5 years, earning good money, 30 lakhs is not a small money in India, right? But they didn't even know that if they try for Google or if they try for, let's say, Meta, right, they can get maybe 80 lakhs with the same experience. So raising that awareness, raising the confidence that they should be able to negotiate properly, right? Because they don't know the market rate. So a 30 lakh, if you give them 50 lakh, they'll be happily accepted because it's a almost more than 50% raise. But you should know that, okay, what is the market rate? Be proactive that, okay, this is the money in the market, and then they will get confidence to help them negotiate. Also, what I teach in my cohort is a lot of people are very, overwhelmed by that. Okay, now there are 3,000 questions on lead code. We have like 9 to 5 jobs. How would be able to do that, right? But you don't have to do that. There are patterns you need to recognize. There's a structured approach which you need to clear interviews. So basically, I give them a structured approach which is not very overwhelming and should help them gain confidence when giving interviews. So yeah, so these are some of the skills I've noticed which a lot of engineers are missing and need to be taught.
I love the Gen Z terminology, brag document.
Yeah.
It's obviously you have to list out your achievements anyway, but the Gen Z wording, that brag document would take it on, bang on. Great. Big tech can be high pressure, I was talked about. So how do you personally manage the stress, the deadline? And then there's a lot of constant change. Today you're using this tool, tomorrow, shift
Yeah.
to this. There's a lot of migration keeping on going on in the industry. Because students also need to understand that how, because it's the same. Today they are learning one thing, AI came in, now they have to, adapt as well. New tools, they need to learn prompt engineering, all of a sort from with programming. So when this stressful situations comes in, or this kind of pressure that comes in, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so I think I can tell personally about myself, and I can also say, like, with the top engineers I've worked with, right? I'm definitely not the top engineer. Like I've seen at Meta, very powerful engineers than me. What I've noticed is that foundations are strong, right? Like if you want to succeed in big tech or any other company, you need to have strong foundations. Second is, you need to just focus on the things you can control, because software engineering is very complex. You have billions of lines of code, right? And you just cannot predict everything. Things will fail, things will go wrong, but that's fine. That's the part of the job you are in. So do not focus on the things you cannot control, right? How the product will work. Like you try your best. You try to write the best code. You try to fix all the errors, but you never know in production how it will behave. You do your best, but if things fail, don't be afraid of the failure. right? Move fast. This is my favorite line. I think in the sessions also I reiterated a lot of times. Move fast, fail, learn from it, adapt, and then make sure that you're not repeating the same mistakes. Like make new mistakes. That's basically the learning, and I think that that's what I've been told by my mentors as well. That do not be afraid of failures. Have strong foundations, and always make new mistakes. Yeah.
Great, great. You know, working in top tech, as you said, there is a lot of deadlines and a lot of things which, you know, have to run fast. And at the same time, you're managing your own kind of newsletter, which is the Hustling Engineer. What gave you that thought process that you should start it? Maybe starting it in the way and you're sharing the knowledge.
Yeah.
So some people have that I'll keep it to my chest attitude. So why do you think of what do you thought of sorry to start this the Hustling Engineer and then sharing all the knowledge that you had with the community, and how did that help you grow?
Yeah. I think it started with a very basic thought that what advice would I give to my younger brother or my younger self, right, if they are in software engineering? And also, I started it when I had 6 years of experience. So I've already seen some failures, I've already seen promotions, and I could figure out a pattern that, what things are leading to what. So basically, I figured out that, okay, I like in my initial years, I was very more about like, you should write clean code, perfect code. But then I realized like it's just 10% of my job, right? The software engineering is more about collaboration, communication, working as a team. If you are the perfect coder, if you are and your team is not succeeding, you won't get that promotion, right? Because if you need to understand the business value behind the code you're writing, you need to ask basic questions. If you're given a project, you need to ask that, is this even required? Will it give the return to investment to the company? So attach the business value to the work you are doing, right? It will help you grow much faster. This is one example, but there are other traits also I realized, right? How you can drive better one-on-ones with your manager, how you can help your manager grow so that you also grow. So these were the some of the things which I realized that I didn't know when I was starting out. And if a junior engineer will know this, it will help them accelerate their career much faster. So that was the motivation behind it, and it has really helpful because when I write, it gave me clarity of thoughts as well, right? It helps me revisit my experiences, and also people are gaining value from it. People like able to create a small impact in the software engineering industry. So yeah, really grateful for that.
Great. Now, coming to the passion part, you're also avid cricket fan. I'm also avid cricket fan. Then, which analogy from cricket, you know, you correlate to the most while working as a software engineer? Like, you know, this analogy is perfect fit, and this is where people can learn even from their passion and relate it to their work.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of analogies. I think two of my favorite ones are just like the cricket captain, right? You are a tech leader, and they follow both the same principles, right? You have to trust your team, you have to empower your team, and then you have to pick players based on their strengths, right? Similarly, in your team also, you'll find people who are good at collaboration, who are good at leading, who some are very good code machines. So you need to match the projects with their strength, right? If you'll ask maybe Jasprit Bumrah to open, maybe he's not the perfect fit for that, right? But with the new ball in the like ODI matches, he's unstoppable. So similarly, you need to determine the strengths and weaknesses of the your junior engineers or people in your team, and then make sure that the project like they are working on this strength. And I think second is basically, I think we talked about it before, like ability to be calm under pressure, right? There would always be hard deadlines. There would always be late night on calls and things like that. But you have to realize that even if you fail, it's not the end of the world, right? Your career is like a 30-year long career. It's a marathon. So don't treat it like a sprint, right? Even 1 or 2 years in your career didn't go as you planned. It will, like, in the long term, in the like a very zoomed out view, it will be very small impact on your overall career. So yeah, so these are some of the things I think I really like cricket and sports in general. So I try to get these analogies and feel myself a sports person while working as a software engineer.
Great. Now, before move towards the last part, the rapid fire, uh, one coding skill that every graduate should master before getting into their first job.
I would say ability to read code, right? Because in your career, you'll probably read code 10x times more than writing code, right? So how to skim code faster, determine, what is happening in this code, what the structure is or everything like that, I think. And then again, yeah, writing clean, readable code, that's basically you need to do that. But I still feel like I think reading code is still more powerful than writing code.
Great. The biggest mistake engineers can make when interviewing with top tech companies.
I would say biggest is like because I've interviewed with a lot of interviews. I would say that they jump to solution too quickly, right? Like if I given a question, they'll just start, writing code or maybe giving the approach. But I think really what the interviewers want is that you need to basically understand the problem, ask some clarifying questions, and then basically kind of, like drive the interview with the right approach. So that's what the interviews are looking for. But I see some candidates, jumping to solution too quickly, which is a red flag.
Great. One book, one blog or resource that you would recommend them to grow both technically and maybe financially, or well, as you said, communication. So be
Yeah.
a good communicator.
I think if you're a software engineer, I would recommend if you are in final year, right? If you are already aware of all these things, right? Read Clean Code, and then read Designing Data Intensive Applications. Clean Code is for writing a industry level code. Designing data intensive applications is for how you scale or design high architecture systems. Financially, I think if you are just starting your job, right? I think Psychology of Money is a great foundational book which you can read. That's more of about it's more of a US based market, but I think if you are looking for more India based market, I think coffee can investing is also a pretty good read.
Great. And being modest, not mentioning the hustling engineer.
Yeah, that's still on top.
Yeah. So, the last thing, how did you like the overall experience visiting the university and the session that you had with students?
I really loved it. I think the energy was really amazing. Students asked very raw questions, right? We had a very diverse crowd from first year to final year, right? And I realized that in during my talk, it might not be like a very good fit for first year students, and they were very, they were very raw with the questions that, hey, what is DSA? Which I really liked, right? Because we here, I think all the panels were kind of more that you already know DSA, already know API, but the students were very curious to know that okay, we are really interested in what you're talking, but yeah, some of the things are not gelling up with that. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good initiative by the university itself, right? Giving exposure to first year, second year students, and inviting basically tech leaders and other domain experts. So it would definitely help them, get an exposure, build an aspirational value that, if I go and talk about that I was in the same place few years back. So they know that, yeah, I can also be in that, joining Google and Meta 5-6 years down the line. So it really builds that aspirational value and really motivates it. So kudos to LPU on organizing such an event as well. And I hope I had such events, when I was graduating. It would have made me a better software engineer as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Hemant, for taking out time and being a part of TechFluent Season 5.
Thank you, sir.